Talking Tuesday. It's what we do. We just sit around, smoke a pound, and talk about what we do in the cannabis world. We gon' let you know how the business go on a brand new show. Talking Tuesday. Show you how to do it right.
Yo, welcome to Talking Tuesday, where we are here live talking about real cannabis issues from real cannabis players. I got Keith Williams to my left, and I got Marcos Barrios to my right. And we going to talk about Reggae on the River up in Northern California, live. So we got hot topics. We going to talk about some things today, but you know, let me start kicking it off with you know, I had to advertise, advertising. You know what I'm saying? And a friend who gives weed is a friend indeed.
Yes.
So Mario gonna pack his little pipe with some of that weed.
Hey, I appreciate that, brother. I appreciate
saying?
that. You know,
Pack your little
come
pipe
on now,
while
come
I'm
on now.
Pass
sitting
the
here chopping
ounce.
it up. And then Keith gonna pack his pipe. And
Okay,
I'm
we
gonna
all
pack
packing?
mine.
Okay, let's pack it. Let's pack
Oh
it,
man,
baby.
come on.
Okay.
We gonna do the thing here. That right there
Stunky too.
comes straight from California Cannabis Farms. That is right there. That one is it's either, I think it's Pinnacle or Upgrade. It's either or. It don't
that's
matter
the
which one
Pinnacle.
it is. It's all organically grown.
Got a
Straight
lot of
from,
trichomes.
Oh man, hey, that's
Lime
the truth
green.
right there.
Yep.
That's fresh off the farm, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Fresh off the farm.
I'm feeling that.
You know what I'm saying? So pack your pipe, because a friend who gives weed is a friend indeed. So you can come get your shirt from California Cannabis, because we do sell them and people love them, because they were buying them left and right at Reggae on the River. Also, a little product here. I just pulled out my hottest sellers at Reggae on the River this weekend. Was my CCOG out the 8th jar, and then my CCOG, the
OG.
yeah.
The icicle.
Hey man, let me tell you something. This was a hit.
The icicle.
Oh man, everything that had CCOG, I had a CCOG blunt, a CCOG icicle, and a CCOG. And I didn't come home with
Everything
nothing.
CCOG just was flying.
Like soon as I cracked that jar open and let them smell the aroma of the CCOG, they was like, ooh wee.
Yeah, the dankness
But we
just
can
took
tell
over.
Keith don't know nothing about packing a pipe, because he broke his down.
I broke mine down in my bowl.
Instead of keeping it whole, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, wait a minute. Look, I only been at this 7 years, so I'm going to say I'm the amateur at the table. I got a bit to learn. I can't be expert in it all.
We all experts at something.
Okay,
you know what I'm
okay.
saying?
Here go the lighter. You go
Okay,
and fire it up.
I'm gonna fire it up.
Fire it up. Body yaddy 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 ya. Oh, how I love to fire it
Look
up.
at this.
Body yaddy yaddy
Remember
ya. Hanging in the cut, getting real. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know it. That's a shout out to the brat, because you know she did
Yeah.
that
So
one.
that was a
She
classic.
did that one. So let's jump right into it. Reggae on the River. So Reggae on the River is an event that is thrown in August, the beginning of August every year. And for a while, Reggae on the River was given every year. COVID kind of knocked it out the box, like it did a lot of social events.
Tastes good too.
Oh, yeah. A lot of social events that knocked it out the box. But this was Reggae's first comeback after this.
Yeah.
It also has some issues with an outside group coming in trying to call it Reggae Rising. The community wasn't feeling it. And the Northern Cal, Southern Humboldt community wasn't feeling it. So the Mateel got back control. Mateel Center, which is a community center in Southern Humboldt, the Mateel Community Center, took back control of the event, which was beautiful. And that means it went back into the hands of the growers. Because let me just kind of explain to you how Reggae on the River started. It was a bunch of growers that came together collectively. You know, after harvest time or during, their growth season, it was time for them to kind of, just relax, take a woosah moment, let their hair down, and just take a break from all the hard work they did from planting and getting their harvest going. And so they will pull their money together and invite artists to come and perform at this concert. And this was strictly a community thing.
Right.
And so this was put on by the cultivators.
Yeah, and the one thing I want to add to that, the Reggae on the River started in 1984. When it first started, it was a one-day event. So the 3 days that we just enjoyed, it grew to that.
It grew into that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and then when you talk about, like Virgil, you point out some really good things. It has always been a celebration of community, cultural expression, and social activism. Because
everything that cannabis
yes.
was built on.
Yes. Because, and I always remind people of this, in the AIDS epidemic, cannabis was there to provide medicine for people that, had no other choice. So you always have to look at this God's plant as being, a way of providing solutions for people that don't have solutions, especially when it comes to the medical arena.
Bear witness, y'all.
Yeah.
First time y'all gonna see me take a puff on camera.
On camera, this is the first time.
In public. First time. I've never been a public smoker in my life.
Yep. This is what episode?
We call them.
What episode
What
is
episode
this?
we on?
This episode number 6.
Number 8.
No, episode number 8. So y'all better go back to episode number 8.
This is a Kobe episode.
And this would be the first time y'all see me pull. Full pull, as they used to say.
That's how you know Reggae on the River was lit, cause this is what we get.
Man, hey, here, let me tell y'all something. That real Humboldt grown, Southern Humboldt grown cannabis right here. Look, this is history right here. Because let me tell you something. Let me get y'all full circle with what reggae meant to me. My first reggae was back in 91. Mm-hmm. I went to reggae for one purpose and one purpose only. And that was to meet a grower. And
that was strategic.
I met that grower at Reggae on the River. And guess what? This is my first reggae as a vendor. Mm-hmm. And now I'm the grower.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Full circle.
Yeah, full circle. Wow. I'm the grower. So go figure that. I just wanted to throw that little tidbit because for me it was full circle.
Full circle, yeah.
It was full spectrum. My life has been full circle and full spectrum. What do I mean by that? I started out where I started out in the streets, doing my thing with cannabis, with weed, with marijuana, with ganja, with the chronic, because that was the days I was kicking up dust. In the chronic days of Dr. Dre, the Eazy-E, the Snoop Dogg, those were the days. Death Row, Bad Boy Records, I Got 5 on it. You know what I'm saying? All of those songs, Brown Sugar, you know what I'm saying? When they was talking about the chocolate tie, Biggie say, sing ain't lie. Y'all know what I'm talking about. He was talking about D'Angelo and Brown Sugar. L7 and Rick James with Mary Jane. We can name all the artists that came out with a weed song. The Loonies, I Got 5 on it.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? All the singers, you got Scarface, they got Mary, 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 Mary. That was a weed song. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, this has just been within the culture, and then you had all of the other artists. It's a whole plethora of artists out there that have talked about cannabis and cannabis consumption. And we can't even just talk about the reggae artists that always talk about light up a spliff, blaze it up, burn him, burn one down, and that's all they talked about. Light up a chalice, light up a spliff. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you got, light it up. And that's what they talked about, and that's what reggae music has been based on a few principles. One was culture.
Yes.
Slavery and culture and the struggle. and then the next was the ganja. And those were the two things that went together. And the ganja was the healing of the nation. Ganja was supposed to bring goodness to man and mankind, and just really heal the nation. And that's what we believe ganja is really here for all mankind. But let's talk about some things that we saw at Reggae that didn't represent Reggae when it came to ganja being sold from cannabis retailers and cannabis cultivators at Reggae on the River, which was very kind of disturbing and disheartening for me. And y'all know I always got to keep it real. So I'm always going to kick the facts. Now, they had us stuffed all the way in the back. We talking a reggae event. We talking where everybody smoked freely in public, like people sharing weed and giving weed to each other. We talking Humboldt County. We talking the mecca of cannabis cultivation and consumption. People, let me just give you a scenario, and this will sum it up. You go to Napa Valley because you going to go wine tasting. You know they good for having their wine. You go to Kentucky because you know they got that good whiskey. So if you want to sip on some good bourbon whiskey, you're going to go to Kentucky. You're going to go to Scotland for that good Scotch whiskey, right? If you want some good champagne or cognac, you're going to go to Paris, where my daughter is right now, enjoying the festivities. You see what I'm saying? So every place is known for what they do. You name me one thing that Humboldt is known for other than weed. Exactly. Exactly. Weed and weed only. So when those people converged in on Humboldt for these 3 days, what you think they was coming there for? They was coming there for reggae music and to smoke all the weed that they could smoke. And you stuff the retailers all the way in the back, and then you put a black tarp around the gate so can't nobody even see in. We talking the mecca of weed. We talking the mecca of cannabis cultivation, birthright, where it has been birthed from, and where everybody in the United States of America and in any other country came in to enjoy what Humboldt County is known for. And that was the culture of cannabis. And y'all stuff us in the back and put a black tarp around us, and then you want to card everybody, and he can't share this, and they was about to arrest the dab man.
Yeah.
Because somebody in his booth was sharing with somebody else. Are you serious? Does that mean you was going to arrest everybody else out there that was sharing weed and passing the spliff around? Come on, man. This foolishness got to stop. DCC, Division of Cannabis Control, that shit got to stop. Y'all got to get y'all acts together. Y'all need to get up to speed and learn some shit about our culture and what we've been doing long before y'all came around.
But then here's another thing, even with the carting. You had the stage right down by the river, and then we were in between that. So how many people go into the river with their wallet and purse and stuff, and then able to come back and get into cannabis things? So some of the things that the process, why do you need to card people if you know it's a 21 and over? I saved my wristband so everyone could see. It should have been like a wristband. Hey, I know I'm 21 and over. Now I show this, I go right in. Why do I need a state ID if I'm inside of a concert?
They had those wristbands, and guess what? They ran out of them. So now what you did is you now deprived those other people because you ran out of wristbands, not them. They paid to get in the concert. You supposed to supply them and know what your concert is getting ready to hold and have. And you got to estimate how many wristbands you think you should have had that people consume. If people are coming to Southern Humboldt, you should have known that everybody in that concert was getting ready to smoke some weed.
Right.
And if they ain't never smoked weed before, they was going to try to smoke it then on those 3 days, because that's what it was. You heard every artist on stage talking about light it up. Fire it up, burn it up, lift up your spliff. Sister Nancy, you smoke ganja? You smoke ganja? I know you smoke ganja. Everybody smoke. She was just hitting everybody up. You smoke ganja? You smoke ganja? You know what I'm saying? Oh, you don't smoke ganja? Oh, I know you smoke ganja. I see it on your lips. You know what I'm saying? Oh, she was on them. Tell her, much respect to Sister Nancy. Bless up, bless up. You know, because Sister Nancy was on them tough about the ganja. But, you know, going back to what we were saying, they even carded one girl who was 21 and told her she wasn't 21 for 24 hours. I said, are you serious? This is how ridiculous they got. Now, let me give you a real fact that's really going to knock y'all across the head. They said you had to be 21 to get in. Wait a minute. Last I checked, my license say adult use and medical. You ain't got to be 21 to have a medical card. And you cannot deny me my medicine nowhere in the state of California. I don't give a damn if it is at a concert. Mm-hmm. If I need my medicine and I got my recommendation and I can provide that, and it's a retailer in there that is medical, a medical cannabis provider, you cannot deny me access to my medicine, because that's what we voted on with Prop 65. So shame on those people that don't know the law, that's steadily trying to govern this industry. Once again, we got people that don't know what's going on that's governing us. And that's the worst thing you can have.
Yeah, and here's the one thing. This was the first time that Reggae on the River was back in the last 6 years. The one thing,
and the first time that they had a cannabis section.
Oh, it was the first time that they had a cannabis section?
First time, because prior to that, there was no cannabis section. The whole concert was cannabis, because everybody was firing it up, passing it around, lighting it up. But this is first time they had cannabis that was being sold, because you got to keep in mind that Reggae on the River was shut down because of COVID.
Because of COVID.
And then prior to that, they had this weirdo group that tried to come in and take over Reggae on the River. You have to keep in mind also that COVID lasted for about almost like 3 years.
3 years.
3 years.
So 2017 is when we was licensed.
Right.
Right before, because COVID hit in 2019, right?
Yeah, like 2020.
2019,
really,
2020,
like in the beginning of 2020.
Exactly. So you see what I'm saying?
Well, wait a minute. We should talk about that, because the vape scare, right, which was
right
a respiratory feeling that happened right before it. Was that COVID? That's what we really should be asking.
Yeah, that's right. Gonna pass the lighter.
Yes.
Lighter.
Light it up.
Yeah.
Lighter. Lighter.
And Virgil, look, let's not forget about the other component of Reggae on the River, the camping. You know, just being able to get out, have a campsite, and that light, to me was a brand new experience also.
I got to borrow that light.
Exactly. So I mean, the logical setup. People, let me give you one thing. Amazing event. Please don't take this the wrong way. What we're putting our grievances out there about. We just want you to get the full picture of it. Amazing event. We will be attending next year.
Yes.
But I am going to get on that committee to make sure that the right changes are made. They need somebody like your partner over here on that committee to kick the facts to them about how this thing is really supposed to go. Amazing event.
Yeah.
Awesome, great artists. Everybody did their thing on stage. Let me tell you something. Even the people that we may not have known as artists on stage ripped up that stage. So big up to all the artists that performed at Reggae on the River. I want to give a shout out to Anu, which is an artist that came through and performed. Anu, hey brother, when you see this, big ups, man. You did your thing on stage.
And that's another thing that we need to look at this as a SWOT analysis. What were the strengths, the weaknesses, the opportunities, and the threats of the festival? And like Virgil just said, for it to come back, it was like, this was my first Reggae on the River, and I was just blown away. Just the sound system, like, in the camp, sitting down at the table, like, you could feel the bass on your chest.
Oh, yeah.
Like it literally drew you in to the point where you wanted to just vibe with it. And then, just the people and the smiles on their faces, like, listen, coming from the inner city, it was an experience that, like, I had never ever experienced.
It's just like back in the, 60s? It was like Woodstock. When you think of any event, Woodstock, you look into that crowd of people, and if you go on my Instagram, California Cannabis WC, go on that Instagram, and it's at California Cannabis WC. You'll see the CC logo pop up on there, and that's me. You go on that Instagram, and I showed a before scene and an after scene. I showed when the field was empty in the daytime and the sun was out, and everybody was under their covers and tents and stuff like that. And then I showed you at night. You could not see anything except for people all enjoying themselves and having a great time. When that artist got on stage, there was no more walking room around there. It was standing room only, and you was shoulder to shoulder basically, but having a great time.
And then Virgil had mentioned this before. Up on that hill is the best cannabis in probably the world, and I think that's why it was not a hard sell for these reggae artists to come throughout the world and assemble right here in Northern California, because you had some amazing cannabis there. Virgil said a statement during Reggae on the River that, like, I'm gonna share now. He was like, "Why bring sand to the beach?" So his strategy, because they have indoor growers, and we were in a place where they're renowned for their farming, he bought some of his indoor dank, which was a different taste for everybody. And just looking at people when they smelled the nose and saw the cannabis, it was like, wow. and I think, that's the community of cannabis, just all being able to share the same plant, but share it in different ways. And Virgil, like, the plant will express itself differently indoors than it does outdoors.
Absolutely.
Even differently as a light depth.
Absolutely.
But just having a community of people being able to sit down and share it and talk about, the different aspects of it, it was an amazing time.
And you gotta, and Marco can attest to this, you gotta think about it. Cannabis was grown outdoors first.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You had your outdoor cannabis. You didn't even have your greenhouse.
No, straight outdoor.
You had your straight outdoor cannabis. And when you talk about that outdoor cannabis, y'all got to remember that wasn't too long ago. That was back in the chronic days.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't start doing the light depths and the hoop houses until, just over the past maybe 15.
I want to say like 98, 99.
Exactly. So maybe 15, 20 years, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to think about it. Way before that, man, I seen some of the most beautiful crops and weed grown outdoors on the top of the hills in Humboldt County.
Mm-hmm.
And they had some of the best product. And now I have to say because now I am a part of that culture.
Yeah.
Having a 120-acre farm in southern Humboldt.
Mm-hmm.
And a house out there, I'm a part of the culture now. I'm a part of that whole hippie vibe and scene and what we do out there as cultivators. But just talking about the product that we used to have back then, man, that was some amazing product.
Yeah. I still tell my friends today, I go, you guys overlook outdoor because literally of looks. It's everybody's so visual. Everything's an appearance thing. But I'm like, if I always say this to them, if weed got you high, you wouldn't have. If looking at weed got you high, you wouldn't have to smoke it.
Exactly.
Good one.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like you gotta smoke it. And I've smoked some till today, some outdoor that's crazy. And it did not look good though, I'll be honest. It did not. But the effect,
oh man,
it was a heavy effect. You know what I mean? So that's why I tell people, I'm like, that's cool. I get you're going for like, you know, the visual, but the visual ain't what's getting you high.
exactly. Heavy. and that's real talk, Marco, because the my California cannabis farm product, which y'all have seen it before in the red, gold, and green bags. I've now started talking to people about that product to explain to them, to get them out of the frame of thinking. Sometimes we have that, what do you call it? That we put blinders on. You just stick to one thing because that's what you were told, but you never investigated for yourself the pros and cons. I'm gonna tell you something. All day, I will take outdoor greenhouse weed over indoor weed any day of the week. Get you higher, a lot longer, more mellow.
Yeah.
It's not super racy. It is the vibe that you want, and you can go out and enjoy yourself off of that product. You can sit and have dialogue. You can build with another individual. Y'all can reason together. I mean, let me tell you something. This right here, man, bar none. The appellation of origin, and we talked about this one time before, that means the region that something is known for. Right. Appellation of origin, Idaho, potatoes, Florida, oranges, Georgia, peaches. The appellation of origin, Napa Valley, California, grapes and wine. These places are known for what they are known for. California cannabis, Humboldt County, known for that, the mecca of it. So, man, only the best grow in the West. That's all I could say about this product, man. Only the best grows in the West. You best believe that, because this product right here is amazing, man. Amazing.
Yeah, and you know, here's another thing about that northern Humboldt area. Like, they pride themselves on living soil cannabis. I talked to, you know, they got a university up there. What is it? Humboldt County Poli-Sci or something like that?
Yeah, Poli-Sci.
But their students actually go to college for soil science. And every cultivator knows that, you know, the soil is the foundation of the cannabis. So to have a person studying soil science, knowing the silicas, knowing, you know, the minerals to put in there to get the best fruit, like, you know, they serious about cannabis when they got soil studies as part of your education. That to me was amazing.
Because that's the most important part of your cannabis is your soil. You have to make sure you have your soil with all your nutrients. You have to have rich soil. You have to have stable soil. You have to have, to me, the best, which is live soil. Right. You want your worms, your worm castings. You want your live soil filled with all of the nutrients, your nitrogen, your magnesium, your potassium, all of the things that you know that like you said, the silica, you know, the calcium, man, everything that your body takes to thrive and live off of, that cannabis plant need the same thing, because it's a living being. It's a living being to the point of that, man. That soil is super important, and that's one thing, and that's why those soil companies they make a great living.
Yes,
because they are providing soil to us, and what we do is continue to amend the soil that we have by putting back in those nutrients. And if you grow vegetables next to your cannabis, those vegetables put nutrients back into that soil.
That's right.
That's another thing. Man, I can't wait to kick my garden off on the land. Man, to start growing my own fruits and vegetables and stuff like that. Because, man, look, at the end of the day, sustainable living is being able to grow your own food.
Right.
Whereas You got to keep in mind, when there's a war-torn country, what's the first thing they do? They cut off the food supply.
That's right.
They did it in Africa. They did it over there in Russia.
Ukraine.
They did it. They did it right now over there with the Palestinians.
Gaza Strip.
Cut off their food supply of food coming in. If you growing your own food, man, can't nobody cut your supply off.
And we growing food and medicine.
And, yeah, and if you growing your food and your medicine, come on, man, you could survive any war.
Yeah, and you know what? You point out something really, really critical. When you talk about those light depths or even that outdoor weed, and it lasts longer in your body, is because of that carbon makeup of that soil. We all came from soil, and we all will return to the soil when we die and decompose. But just having that what I call familiar recognition of the body to the nutrients. In cannabis, you got micronutrients and macronutrients. And as your body starts to break those down, if they're familiar to it, not only will it absorb quicker, but it will last in your body longer.
Exactly, because you have cannabis receptors within your system.
Yes, sir.
And it's something that a lot of people don't know. Your body possesses cannabis receptors. Whether you smoke weed or eat weed or not, your body has cannabis receptors. But your body ain't got no methamphetamines receptors.
Mm-mm.
Your body ain't got no cocaine receptors. Your body ain't got no whatever else drug, heroin receptors. Why did God make our body with cannabis receptors? Marijuana, THC, bomb diggity receptors. But he didn't make it with all these other receptors of this other garbage that these people are smoking and shooting up and all that other stuff, right?
Yep.
So it kind of makes you want to think. There's just a thought-provoking, comment there to make a person sit there and think about why don't we have that? Why don't we have alcohol receptors? Why don't we all the things that we put into our system,
Nicotine receptors
that are negative to our system, and here you have cannabis receptors in your system.
Well, again, really, really good point. Like us having an endocannabinoid system, and let's talk about all the things that the endocannabinoid system does. It regulates the heat. So I know a lot of tokers that, after they toke for a little while, they might put a jacket on because, they get on the cooler side. That's because when you start overloading on THC, it will regulate your natural body's regulator.
And then you got some of them that be sweating like a sweat
Right.
hog. Yeah, they be like, whew.
Yeah.
They got a blunt in one hand and got their towel around their neck in the other hand, patting it and
Handkerchief.
smoking and patting at the same time. Like, you know what I'm saying? Almost like Biggie Smalls. You see, he used to keep that towel around his neck.
But that's good to know, though. That's very educational because I didn't even know that part. Yeah.
Well, and then I'm always just observing the different nuances of the endocannabinoid system. Like even when you talk about, hey, I could toke too much and make myself so nervous and create anxiety. And, most people don't realize that cannabis can be taken to relieve you of anxiety and stress. But if you toke too much of it without any type of activities, it can make you, anxious, basically.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So we always encourage microdosing just to find out like what your sweet spot is, because everybody's endocannabinoid system is different. So if you're an older person and have depleted more and your body's not producing, which your body produces natural THC, is probably not at the state that, toke will, but it will do it. As you get older, your body won't produce as much as you need. And that's where we feel that, hey, a natural source of living soil cannabis is the best way to go to get your body back to that equilibrium.
And I like the way Keith talks about that because another thing that people, I don't know if they realize, is that when you smoke weed and drink, you don't get drunk off of the alcohol that you drinking. because the weed kind of counterbalances that. Anybody that smoke will be able and drink will be able to attest to this, that you could be drinking and puffing and or puff first and then drink, or to drink and then start puffing, and you find out that, damn, I done pound down a couple of these wine glasses, or I done pop back a few of these shots, or I done took down a few of these mixed drinks, but they ain't got me bent over.
Right.
Because, like Keith say, that weed regulates your system. And I can bear witness to that. Because I know I done sat back at the house, I done had me a little couple of tokes, and I'm sipping on a glass of wine, then I know I done poured another glass, but I with that smoke, man, I ain't bent over backwards with that wine.
Yeah.
Now, here's another part that a lot of people don't realize. Cannabis, and this is why the people that have diabetes, it has always looked at as something to help them. It actually will regulate the sugar from your body. So now think about this. If I'm drinking a beer has yeast in it, then as it goes into your body, it's still going to continue to make more sugar once it gets inside of your body. If I got a mechanism that's help pushing that sugar out, now I'm not going to get, as drunk or have a hangover, that much the next day.
Right.
And again, the things that Virgil and I are talking about, these are not things that have empirical data behind it. These are just observations of people that we done seen drinking a 40 ounce and smoking a blunt, and neither seems like it's phasing them.
Hey, that's empirical data. You understand what I'm saying? He talking about it ain't empirical data. How you think they get their empirical data? Off of people like us, sitting in a room, doing what we normally do, and they checking it out. That's empirical data.
Trial and
Come
error,
on,
huh?
man. We ain't got to be no doctor. Look, you ain't got to have a PhD to figure out what worked for you and what don't. You just try the shit out and see it don't work for you, or you don't try it out and it don't work for you. You know, I mean, whatever. But empirical data is raw data that is done in a study of people on this side of the study and people on this side of the study doing what they are doing. Right. Yes, some in a controlled environment, some not in a controlled environment, depending on what the study. What type of study they're doing and what it requires. Right. But at the end of the day, it's you and me sitting around doing this here and them seeing what the reactions or the response are, what our reaction time is. What is that? They talk about it slows your reaction down. Man, come on, man. Who did that study? Where he at? Knock him upside his head.
No, how coordinated was that person? Because I know plenty of people that play sports, and I mean
that smoke weed all day, and they got a shot out of this world. They got hands that's catching the ball out of this world. They spot that ball coming over and with that bat, and they hit it. Come on, man, y'all got to knock that off. Because, hey, man, when I was in college. And y'all know the history if y'all know me. I didn't smoke weed till I was 37 years old. Or I tried to smoke weed at 37. Didn't know what I was doing, but I tried it at 37. Never tried it before that. But I'm in college. And I got two cats sitting next to me. One is a hurdler and one is a high jumper, right? And they over there smoking weed, getting high as I don't know what, right? And here I am, telling them, man, me and one of my other partners, Arvis Green, he went into being a probation officer. But anyway, me and Arvis sitting over there like, man, them dudes over there, and he was roommates with them, and we was going me and my homeboy Frog, we was going over there to go get him and say, hey, it's time for us to walk over, because where we stayed was right across the street. I mean, right across from where we ran. So all we had to do was just walk right over there, right? And they over there getting high, smoking weed. We thinking, oh, man, he getting ready to jump, and he getting ready to run hurdles, 110 high hurdles. Wow. Which takes every bit of your coordination. Other one is a high jumper. Okay, that takes every bit of your coordination to get over that bar. Man, we talked about how they was getting ready to. Man, he getting ready to lose the race for us. We ain't gonna get no points. You count these two out. Ain't no points coming in the high jump. Ain't no points
Yeah, you
coming
guys
in the.
just already look.
Come on, already didn't turn that down. Man, Pat Brantley went out there. Sorry, what was supposed to say his name? He went out there and ran, man, his personal best. Won the race.
Yep.
And my other boy John, he went and jumped one of his highest jumps. So when some idiot want to talk about what it does, man, I didn't smoke and got behind the wheel. And people think, oh, you shouldn't be smoking and driving. That's irresponsible. Fuck up out of here. Y'all don't know what y'all talking about.
They need to give it to more of the drivers out
Exactly,
there.
because I'm going to tell you
calm
what it
them
did.
down.
It didn't make me panic behind the wheel. You know what I'm saying? In other words, it kept me at an even keel and calmness. So when an idiot cut me off, I was able to say, whoop,
Right.
swoop right on the round.
Absorbing and
When
keep
somebody,
going.
hey, when somebody tried to get on me, I was able to go whoop and went right around. You
That
feel
shit
what I'm
is
saying?
yeah.
Nah,
Roll with the
square
punches.
biz. Square biz. This real talk. Hey, I was able to whoop, and I didn't even panic. And
It's almost
got
like
right
the car wiggles.
Come on, man. Got right on the roundy, and he went flying that way. Hey, man, that's his business. I'm heading to the house. You feel me? And any other time, I probably would have panic, slam on the brakes,
some
do
choice
all this
words.
so crazy stuff. No, I was able to stay calm, cool, and collective. So, for some people, it knocked the edge off, so they not so antsy and hyper behind the wheel like you get all of these crazy road ragers. I'm gonna tell you something. Everybody light a spliff, man. Get behind that wheel. We had no road rage. Matter of fact, they probably wouldn't be speeding. Stop at every stoplight. Stop at every stop sign. Put on their blinker. Very cautious. Let me tell you, a high driver is a cautious driver. Why do you think that people ain't getting pulled over high smoking weed?
Ooh. So wait a minute. Look, now I got to
Square
on this
biz.
one.
I just got to tell you that. If smoke ain't blowing out the car, man, why people getting high ain't got pulled over?
Right.
Because they know what, man, they are the most cautious drivers you ever, cautious. You feel me?
And look, I'm gonna tell on some closet smokers, but not quite tell everything. I done been on that 405, that 110, seen people with a whole bong, water bong. And then look, and in my mind, I'm like, well, let me slow down and see what's going on. And then as soon as they get finished, use their signals, go to speed limit, and you're just like, wow.
Hey, I had one of my white partners, man, who did that. He come scoop us up, and he got a bong in his lap. like he come with, I'm talking about with the bong,
Right.
the bubbles in it, man, pulling out his little thing. You hit that, baby. And he driving, I mean, just rolling. And hey, man, we ain't tripping. It is what it. See, one thing about it, there is such thing as a responsible consumer.
Yep.
And we've gotten away from responsible consumption. There is a difference. I remember when I was a young kid, working with my dad at the liquor store. He running his stores. We run around the stores all day, and at the end of the day, we heading home. He grab a brew, crack a brew, got it sitting right in the cup holder, beer nuts, and he drinking a brew while we on his way home. My dad wasn't drinking to get drunk.
Right.
He was drinking to have him a cold brew on his way. We stuck in traffic on the 110 freeway at 6 o'clock back in the 1980s or early 80s, or it might even been the late 70s. But y'all remember 4 o'clock traffic, 4 or 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock traffic. And right after comes 6:30, man, them freeways was clear. You could breeze down the freeways back in the day then after like 6:30. But during traffic jam, that was at 4 to 5. That's why now on the radio, you used to hear that traffic jam DJ mix from 4 to 6. Because that's when traffic was going on. Now you damn near got to run that DJ mix all night because
Right.
shit traffic don't let up here in LA. Too many damn cars and people. Y'all need to go somewhere. Get up off these streets, man, and let us roll.
But here's some data to support what Virgil and I are talking
Tell all
about.
out of towners to go.
If you look at the 37 states that have went recreational and medicinal, the DUIs in every one of those states have went down. So
Come on, man. Talk to
and
me.
that's just the data to support what we're saying. And then here's
Well, that's not like, look at Amsterdam. Amsterdam legalized every damn thing.
Thailand too.
But their
Thailand going
but
back
their-
on cannabis, maybe though.
But their addiction rate is down in that country.
Yep.
50% lower than the U.S.
Right.
Because U.S. trying to control every damn thing. What happens when you try to control something? It'll get away from you. Same way you try to control your kids, and now your kid is out there wilding it. Same way you try to put your woman in handcuffs and lock her down, and she out there doing what she want to do.
Giving her coochie credit
or
cards.
vice versa. You can't control a situation. There is no control. Look at the failed war on drugs. What did they control? Because how long is we at the war on drugs? Nancy Reagan?
1993.
70s. It came in at the 70s. No, I'm my
Oh, you
bad. I'm
mean,
sorry.
Nixon.
It goes all the way back to what is it? Harry Anslinger.
Anslinger, 1937.
So we talking the 30s. Y'all been trying to control stuff for the 30s all the way to the 30s, and we still got drugs. What have you been controlling? The war on drugs has been an epic failure because you have not controlled anything. It's still drug dealers out there. It's still fentanyl being sold that these young kids are taking and dying off of. It's still heroin being sold. It's still Oxycontin being sold. It's still methamphetamine. It's still all that stuff being sold. So you pumping money into a failed situation.
Yeah, that's because they ain't controlling. They participate.
They participating. Because if you really wanted to control it, you'd have did a whole set of different studies by now on that to say, let's figure out how to not control it, but contain it at least.
And mix and get ours too.
Come on, man, talk to me.
But come on now, look, when you talk about the Schedule 1, it's a Schedule 1 on what? The Controlled Substance Act. And what always gets me about cannabis is it says it has no medicinal properties. Like this is the worst substance on earth. But yet it has not killed one person.
Hey,
no one has ever overdosed on cannabis.
Let me tell you something, man. Their reports are crazy. Now, I'm in a DEA report study that they did. It's this thick. I still got it. Matter of fact, we gonna come back and I'm gonna speak more on it. And I'm gonna let you read it. I'm gonna give it to you and let you read it. They got me in the sitting in your seats, y'all. Hold on to that steering wheel tight if you listening to it, and watch your foot on that brake. They had me in the DEA report as one of the failures of medical marijuana. Can you believe that? They had me as an example of the failures of medical marijuana. Wow. Can you believe that? But this, I say this to say that they could be nowhere near correct or right about what they say and do. And we listen to our so-called federal government, especially when it comes to drugs, and they do not tell us anything right. They don't tell you about the drugs that do harms to you until people start dying.
Right.
So you let us get out there and be y'all guinea pigs to them pharmaceutical drugs, and then when a couple of people drop dead, now all of a sudden you want to do something about it or regulate it or pull back on it. You know, when you listen to the side effects that Sky Rizzy and all these other Jam Busy and Dizzy Wizzy and all these other drugs, and they say side effects, you may have internal
because they want the pharmaceuticals.
internal bleeding, your nuts,
Right. Nothing will work
to the
again.
ground,
Yeah.
all
They
kind
want
of
everything
crazy
synthetic.
stuff. Hey man, you know what I'm saying? Your eyes gonna pop out your head.
They should be real. Kiss your family and get your
I'm just
affairs
saying,
in
your
order.
teeth gonna fall out your mouth. Your rectum gonna fall out. You know what
The
I'm
disclaimer
saying?
is crazy.
Greasy ass cheeks.
It just get worse and worse.
I'm just saying though, but they got, hey man, they got the
The
craziest
disclaimer,
stuff.
if you don't read it, I don't know how you gonna still
know, but
take that
you-
medicine after you read that
Hey,
disclaimer.
you see the commercial, and the commercial say, you know, take this if you have
A headache.
if you have a headache, but it may cause internal bleeding. Your skull may split. Your eyebrows may fall
fall
off your
off.
face. Your nose may widen. Your lips may shrink. You know,
Yeah.
you be like, oh shit,
Yeah.
I just deal with the
Right.
headache.
You go
Hey,
from
let me
taking
just
it
keep
to
this
another.
headache
I'm
going.
cool.
But
Because
the crazy
I don't
part
wanna
is
deal
how
with
many
these
people say,
15
yeah, okay,
side
I could
effects.
use that.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to deal with these 15 side effects y'all about to put on me, so I'm gonna just deal with this headache. Let me keep this nosebleed or this anal secretion going on. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Let me just go on and try to manage this, because that's what pharmaceutical drugs. Now let me ask you one question. What's the side effects to marijuana?
Munchies. Then I'm going to sleep.
You feel me?
Yeah.
Or you gonna talk somebody's head off?
You
Oh,
gonna talk
that-
I know
somebody's
some
head
people
off.
that get
Yeah.
high,
Yeah.
and they want to sit there and talk your ears off.
Yeah.
Some people get high, and you better start watching what you got in your cupboard, because they looking for something.
Oh, yeah.
Hey man,
They
you
gonna
got a
know.
bag of chips up in there? Hey man, you got some cookies up in there? Hey man, what you got in that cabinet, man? I got I need something for Phil got the munchies. You know what I'm saying? Or you got somebody like, damn man. Hey man, would you wake up? Yeah, man, go home and go to sleep. God damn, man, you all on the couch slobbering all on my good sofa, man. I ain't got plastic on mine like grandma had. Shoot, you make a brother want to put plastic on his couch. Well, you treating it, you know what I'm saying? But
Yeah, absolutely.
man, these are the side effects to cannabis versus all those side effects that all of those other drugs do, and they addict you. Cannabis is not addicting. True study. Cannabis is not addicting. For those out there that think that cannabis is addicting, it is not. I'm sorry to bust your bubble, but it's not addicting. If you are addicted to cannabis, because that's you and your mental issues you got, and it ain't got nothing to do with cannabis. Because I guarantee you, if I take cannabis away, you're going to find another something to be addicted to, because that's in your personality.
But wait a minute.
It's not in your scientific makeup within your system.
But look, we always talking about people being addicted to cannabis. What about people with these food addictions?
It's all the
and
same.
it's popping way more.
It's all the same, though. You got to keep in mind, it's all psychological. When people start saying, oh, you're addicted to this, because of that, no, it's psychological. There may be a small portion on some pharmaceutical drugs that make your body addicted to it or wanting it, and you may have withdrawals from it. But when you go to a drug rehab program and you check in, what's the first thing they do? They set you up with a psychiatrist.
Yeah.
Why? Because it's not physically an issue. It's mentally an issue. Because if you get it together mentally and say, I don't want this anymore, you can stop.
Right, but it is a scientific definition for addiction. So, and I want to make sure the public understands this. So, like with heroin, if I was to take heroin and tomorrow decided I will have withdrawal symptoms, and that's where they talk about the addiction.
And that's what I said. Yes, you will. Like certain drugs, I didn't say that you won't have. Like certain drugs, you have withdrawals. That's why I say pharmaceuticals. You'll take them, and you can physically get addicted to it where your body will withdraw coming off.
Right.
You withdraw coming off of coffee. How many people get headaches when they stop drinking coffee?
Bingo.
Come on now.
That's where
Come
I was
on now.
go.
You're going to have withdrawals from something that you're addicted to.
Yeah.
And so this goes on any and everything. If you decide to stop eating after being a gluttony, what are you going to have? eating withdrawals. You're gonna have stomach growling until your stomach inside shrinks. So that now the food that you're putting in,
You can't even fit it. Doesn't even want it no more.
come on now. So, but it starts mentally, because the first thing you think, I gotta have that food. Okay, I gotta clean my plate. I gotta eat everything on my plate. Oh, I want that dessert. I want that. That's all mentally. Because if that's the case, America would have been obese a long time ago. We are more obese than we've ever been. When I look back at some of them old Soul Train things, shows where we used to have. So if you go look back at Soul Train, how many fat people you see up in there?
Not many. Them people was pop locking, and you seen
They
them
was
with
fit,
the off
slim,
the top on.
and trim, and gunned up. They had guns on them, and the girls' stomachs was flat, looking good. I'm talking about them sisters in the 60s and the 70s. Oh my God, bring them women back, because they was
that was
fine
before,
as wine in the summertime, and I ain't lying.
Look, but that's before they started putting high fructose corn syrup and everything.
Exactly.
Because it make people, insulin resistant.
And the MSG, all that stuff that's in your food that is to preserve food. And the thing is if we treated the food the way it's supposed to be treated and not try to always preserve it and just eat it when we're supposed to eat it, not eat it when we're not supposed to eat it, we wouldn't have that problem or issue.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But now everything they have is preservatives in there to preserve the food longer than it can, so it can have a longer life shelf. This is all about corporate greed.
Yes.
This is definitely not about our health. And so when you follow that corporate greed, you got it in pharmaceuticals, you got it in the food. Just like certain cities are food deserts. Certain places are food deserts. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Compton is a food desert. Like where can you go in Compton and sit down and have a bite to eat and enjoy a meal at a family restaurant? Because IHOP ain't a family restaurant, y'all. And El Pollo Loco ain't a family restaurant. You know what I'm saying?
but just to have access to fresh organic fruit.
I'm just saying, like man, that. Come on now. You know, McDonald's, just because it got chairs and a table there.
The kids' playground.
And the kids' playground don't mean
I can't do that.
That it's a restaurant that you want to say, oh, baby, you can have whatever you want on the menu. It's on me. Treat on me, baby.
And even now,
anything you want.
And here's the thing about bad food is that even now, you might as well eat at a healthier place because the cost is crazy.
Right.
It's almost the same.
It's the same for bad food now.
Yes.
It was different. Fast food, man. Okay, it should be cheaper then.
Yeah, what's the difference between Whole Foods and Vons? Ain't no different now.
None whatsoever.
You know what I'm saying? I might as well shop at Whole Foods.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or Trader Joe's. What's the difference? Because those places used to be higher than. Now, like you said, they all matched up the same now.
Yep.
But, it's funny that you mentioned Compton being a food desert. Originally I'm from Chicago, and the community Garfield Park where I was born at is a food desert. And what's sad about that is all your big dollar stores, like I think we had Jewel and Dominic's, which are subsidiaries of Ralph and Kroger. Mm-hmm. But it's the same thing. It's like they put us in a situation with high stress, overpolarization, and then you turn around and don't have the adequate foods. Like you have pathogens in your food to help you with your stress, but if you don't have a clean source of that, it's just a pressure cooker at that point.
It's a pressure cooker.
Yeah. They give you 99-cent stores and Dollar Trees.
Yeah.
That's what they give you.
With the sweet drinks.
And in some neighborhoods, Winco.
Yeah.
Where you go in there and get that baked chicken from Winco.
Yeah.
Yeah, that rotisserie chicken, it kind of good though. You know that little rotisserie chicken at Winco's is kind of good.
They know how to get it. They know how to
Hey, but y'all know, it is what it is. But look, I really appreciate y'all tuning in tonight. Reggae on the River was a blast. So if you guys ever get an opportunity to go and experience Reggae on the River, I highly recommend early August, first week of August, Reggae on the River. It is live. They will be tuning up even more so now. It was a great turnout. It was a great turnout. The place was jam-packed. The people, it was peace and love. The vibe was great.
It's only once a year.
It's only once a year. And it's everything we go. Hey, y'all, I'm getting ready to do something with Reggae. And we're going to have it here in Southern California.
Yeah.
And we're going to do something that represents Southern Cal like Humboldt did. Because I love what Humboldt do. So I had an epiphany this morning about doing reggae on the beach.
Ooh,
instead of reggae on the river.
Yeah,
reggae
on the beach.
We got what beach you have in mind?
Hey, we got a lot of beaches.
We got a lot of beaches.
We got a lot of beaches, but that was just a thought. Reggae on the beach. Just think of that. That would be beautiful for Southern California. We have one in Northern Cal. Everybody has a blast, and then bam, we have one in Southern Cal. So with that being said, hey, we gonna get on out of here tonight. Thank y'all for tuning in to Token Tuesday, where only the best grows in the West. I got my man Keith Williams to my left and Marco Barrios to my right, and your boy Virgil Grant here, live and in effect. Come out, reach out to us, 7415 Crenshaw Boulevard, Los Angeles, California, 90043, 654 North Manhattan Place.
Yep.
Los Angeles, California, 90004. That's our Melrose location. And then 1601 South Soto Street here in Boyle Heights. Los Angeles, California, 90023. Come out and holler at us. Or go online, order online. You can order online, get whatever you want, whatever you need. Make sure you get you some icicles. CCOG icicles, CCOG in the 8th, and CCOG in the blunt style. Until then.
And Virgil, they can get this shirt also online.
Correct? Yeah, you can get this. A friend in need
is a friend indeed.
A friend who gives weed is a friend indeed. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, we're friends that give weed. Come in and bring your dollars.
And remind them to subscribe to our YouTube channel so they can see Token Tuesday.
Subscribe to the YouTube, like Mr. Keith said.
Wait a minute, what is it?
Token Tuesday. It's California Cannabis Token Tuesday.
That's right.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Check us out online. Thanks for tuning in. And we out of here, y'all. Peace out.
Token Tuesday, it's what we do. We just sit around, smoke a pound, and talk about what we do in the cannabis world. We gon' let you know how the business go on a brand new show. Token Tuesday, show you how to do it right. You need